skincare is on a boom right now. Everybody wants to enter a skincare industry. They want to launch their product. You tell me, being a supplier, and you sit back on the authority level because you are the provider for these people. What you see, is it a real boom, a value creation, or it's just the inflated numbers they are talking about?
There is demand in the market. The consumers are better aware as compared to what they were 5 years back, and the knowledge has seeped to the consumer about the ingredients, about the products which can benefit their skin. There are some brands which focus mainly on packaging, how the brand looks, how the product looks, and then there are brands which focus silently on the formulation at the molecular level, and that is where the sustainability lies.
Currently, what we feel as a marketer, that people mainly focus and act like product as a prop, and marketing, they don't run a skincare brand, they are running a marketing company.
Marketing. So, the two pillars of any brand should be formulation and marketing, right?
What you started 10 years back in 2016, and now, what is the major difference you see in the market? Is there any difference, or still people have the same way of doing the things?
Well, there is a research going on, and new molecules have been developed. Currently, high-end brands and the really efficient ones, they use products like ceramides, peptides. Brands who focus on good formulation, good product sustainability, good product integrity, and stability, they will do very well in the long run as compared to brands who just focus on packaging and marketing.
Everyone, today on the Long Game Show powered by TNSC, we have Mr. Pranshu. He started his career into finance and strategy and then moved towards the beauty skincare raw material industry. After into the industry for 11 years in finance and strategy, he started his journey as a founder of Itheon International LLP. Now, why this all started? Because he started this journey with the belief that ecological, sustainable beauty products are the future for the global markets. Today, Itheon, in 2026, after a journey of 10 years, is the global suppliers of raw material, courier oil, essential oil across the globe. Mainly, to name few of the markets, are like in Europe, in Middle East, in Africa, and the Itheon has become one of the known name in the market. So today we will be understanding and we will pull back the curtain like what exactly happening in a skincare industry. Over to you, Pranshu. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Pragya, and it's a pleasure and honor to be here and discuss our insights, our mutual insights actually, because it's not going to be a one-way communication. I would like to get some insights from you as well because you have been into branding for a while. So it's going to be let's make it a mutual conversation.
Yeah, it's gonna be, and I'm so happy that you decided to be a part of it. To start up with, we have one question from you. So we know in skincare is on a boom right now. Everybody wants to enter a skincare industry. They want to launch their product. You tell me, being a supplier, and you sit back on the authority level because you are the provider for these people. What you see, is it a real boom, a value creation, or it's just the inflated numbers they are talking about?
Well, the boom is real. There is demand in the market. The consumers are better aware as compared to what they were 5 years back, and thanks to influencers and marketing efforts by the various agencies, that the knowledge has seeped to the consumer about the ingredients, about the products which can benefit their skin. Having said that, there are various brands. There are some brands which focus mainly on packaging, how the brand looks, how the product looks, and then there are brands which focus silently on the formulation at the molecular level, and that is where the sustainability lies, because we come across brands which would spend 6 months on deciding the packaging and only 6 days in deciding the product. Whereas, the successful sustainable brands which grow over a period of time, they would do the reverse.
Yeah, they focus on the formulation first.
The market is aware, and ultimately your skin is the best judge, So, first sale is easy, but the second sale is the tougher one.
Oh, and what do you feel currently? What's your personal take? Currently, what we feel as a marketer, that people mainly focus and act like product as a prop and marketing. They don't run a skincare brand, they are running a marketing companies. What's your personal take on that?
Yeah, you're partially correct on that. Actually, many brands, they run a marketing company with a skincare brand as a byproduct of that.
True that.
But that's not inherently bad, because marketing definitely is a core component of any product or any brand. But at the same time, your formulation should also be a core infrastructure apart from marketing. So,
Okay.
the two pillars of any brand should be formulation and marketing, right? Brands who focus on good formulation, good product sustainability, good product integrity, and stability, they will do very well in the long run as compared to brands who just focus on packaging and marketing.
That I agree.
Yeah.
Because one quarter you can just make it out through your marketing, but
Yeah.
another quarter will be
Yeah.
the real testing for you.
Yes.
But don't you think, Pranshu, recently we are seeing so many influencers coming on Instagram, maybe TikTok, talking about so many life hacks, skin hacks,
Yeah.
10 steps of a skincare regime and all. What do you have to say about that?
Well, influencers, there are two types of influencers. One are independent influencers, and then on the other hand, you have paid influencers.
Yes.
So, influencers as a whole community, they have definitely percolated the knowledge to the consumers. But at the same time, they might have had instilled unrealistic expectations from the consumer. Consumers now expect an instant result on the skin. You apply a product, a whitening product or a glow product, and they want instant changes in the skin. That's not going to happen, And if it happens, then the brand or the product is really bad. It's going to cause you long-term damage to the skin as compared to, a product which works silently over a period of time. An influencer, a paid influencer's marketing cycle is typically 7 days. And that is what
Yes.
they try to claim, that, the brand will give you results within 7 days. It's not going to happen, growth is boring, growth is silent, whereas influencer marketing is, bombastic and it's, instantaneous. Yeah, so definitely there is more awareness, but at the same time, there are influencers who are marketing responsibly and who are giving you the true picture of the product. Real skincare is not that skincare timelines is not based on influencer timelines. It is based on your skin timelines. And your skin cycle is typically 28 days when a genuine product would start to give you visible results.
Yeah, it will take time.
Yeah, there's a thumb rule of 3 weeks. You have to use a product 3 weeks to see some visible result on the skin in a sustainable way, not an instantaneous way. I mean, people want a glow product, instant glow product. We tell them, why don't you use a bleach straight away, bleach up your skin?
That will be the
It's the
best
same
thing.
thing.
Yeah, if you really want that. But don't you think what you started 10 years back in 2016 and now, what is the major difference you see in the market? Is there any difference or still people have the same way of doing the things?
No, there are trends coming in and trends going. When we started 10 years back, there were certain ingredients which were in vogue at that time. Then those ingredients gradually disappear from the market and the new ones come in. And thanks to the social media boom, the trends become viral, and we have a certain wave of customers coming to us for a particular ingredient or a formulation with that particular ingredient. But people have to realize that there's no ingredient that fits all just for the sake of marketing. You cannot claim a hero ingredient and try to fit it in all your formulations. You have to calibrate it as per your skin type. You have to calibrate it as per the geographical or weather conditions. That is where the expertise of a true formulator comes into play.
True. I remember few years back it was like vitamin A, B, C, then the retinol happened. Now it's sea buckthorn.
Seafood,
Yeah,
yes.
it's sea buckthorn every day and I'm like, it's a heavy oil.
Oh yes, there was a wave of activated charcoal, now it's gone. There were charcoal toothpaste, there were charcoal face washes, charcoal body washes, creams, and now
And
it's
now
gone.
nobody is using them.
Nobody wants it.
So what is the trend right now in a skincare industry which you see people are using and what you foresee in future like it will be used more often?
Well, there is a research going on, and new molecules have been developed.
Okay.
Currently, high-end brands and the really efficient ones, they use products like ceramides, peptides.
Yes.
There is a trend of plant stem cell extracts, which are going into formulations. There are nanomolecules in formulations which can penetrate to the last layer of the skin and cause efficacy at a very much faster level.
And
So,
Itheon is using all of them.
oh yes, yes, we are formulating for various brands using all these ingredients, and we formulate the products under two ideologies. One is FDA, other one is Ayush.
Yes.
There are pros and cons of each, and there are definitely there are benefits of Ayush as well as benefits of FDA in terms of the visibility in the market and the global reach. Ayush is being promoted by the government in a big way, and it is already popular in various countries, but still it has got miles to go. And FDA is one which is easily acceptable across the globe. And it's not right to say which one is good, which one is bad.
कोई नहीं एडिट हो जाएगा तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है हाँ
ज़्यादा फास्ट तो नहीं है ना?
नहीं गुड
Basis okay.
हाँ
So Ayush is yet to be accepted in certain countries, but with time and awareness, I think we should be there. I mean, that should be a core export of India. But FDA is quite well accepted anyway. So all the new research in synthetic molecules can be incorporated into FDA products, and we can give good efficacy with those products.
Nice. And what you feel one common mistake people like founders of the skincare are doing repeatedly from last 1 decade you have seen? What is one core mistake they are doing?
You know, they tend to start with the branding. How am I going to brand my product? How am I going to position the product? And in that process, they solely focus on the product appearance and the packaging and the hero ingredient which they are going to claim in the product. Again, like I said, you know, one hero ingredient cannot fit your product philosophy. Let's say you're launching a range of a face wash, a cream, serum. You cannot claim a hero ingredient across all three categories. And at the same time, there are very underrated ingredients which, you know, we treat them with disrespect. For example, castor oil.
I know.
It's a cheap ingredient, easily available in India, but it's a fantastic product. People tend to ignore it.
The jojoba oil also.
Oils,
it's very nice. Light to skin, good for skin weather. But yeah, people tend to overlook them.
People run after olive oil, you know, but nature has given us the ingredient which is suited for that particular geography. We as an Indians, we've got fantastic ingredients like coconut oil, castor oil, rice bran oil.
Yeah.
They work very well for Indian skin, but yet they are underrated products.
Because I think in India, what people are doing, they copy the Western culture. And they pick those formulation and they try to sell it off in India rather than understanding the Indian people, Indian skin tone. Now again, the problem comes out, who will put the money in product development and research? They don't want to do that. Yeah, because we also get the people who come with a very mediocre product.
Yeah.
And then they say, do the marketing. And we are like, it's a mediocre product.
Yeah.
We cannot, even if we help you for 1 quarter, the next quarter the result will not be there. It's better you do a little more work on your product.
Yes.
That's another thing. So do you, like Itheon International LLP, do you people help in people understanding in those kind of consultancy?
Yes, you know, when we discuss with first time founders who are going to launch a brand, we discuss at length on what ingredients they are looking for, what is their brand philosophy, and what kind of skin conditions what is the problem they are curing. You know, ultimately a product has to cure a problem, right? So having finalized that, then we work with the founders over a period of time, because launching a brand is not instantaneous. You have to look at the product stability and integrity over a period of time. You cannot launch a product after discussion within a week. You know, you have to test it at different weather conditions, at different temperature zones, on different skin types. And then you arrive at a conclusive stability data for that particular product before you formally launch in the market. So we always request our customers to be patient with us and, you know, work slowly but steadily and firmly so that the brand does not fail, because consumer will buy the brand once, but your skin has to approve it for it to be bought second time.
Yes.
Yeah, and that is where, you know, most founders do not consider those repeat sale metrics into consideration. So that's our honest effort with the founders to, you know, be a little bit patient with the product efficacy.
That I agree.
Yeah.
Yes, so that covers first paragraph. Abhi, you are comfortable?
Huh? Perfect.
Pakka,
Huh.
reality of skincare.
Achha.
We will be moving towards ingredients and raw material. Like, what is the biggest myth about essential oil that founders blindly believe? And carrier oils are everywhere. Are they truly transformative or just content friendly? Because you covered that part also, तो आप उस पे बोल सकते हो. Honest question: herbal extract always better than synthetic?
Yeah.
Or is that a half truth? That we will ask. And how many brands actually understand like sourcing quality, batch consistency? वो सब
ठीक है.
वो will ask. Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I'm starting. Okay. So that's a good one and insightful information. We would like to know what is the one biggest myth you have seen in the market when it comes to understanding the essential oil part.
Okay. The biggest myth is whatever is natural is gentle on the skin. It doesn't happen that way. Essential oils are powerhouses. They are nutrient powerhouses, and they are like concentrated doses. They are like injections, medicines. If you apply a higher dose of essential oil, it can cause irritation to the skin. It will not be gentle. I mean, essential oils are not gentle at all if applied directly. They have to be diluted and then applied and incorporated in a formulation in a specific manner. We often call essential oils like espresso shots. It's like you taking them at the right quantity at the right time will do wonders. But if you take them in the wrong quantity at the wrong time, it can be disastrous for your brain. So similarly, essential oils can work either way for the skin. You have to exercise them with caution and care.
Great, but we have seen many homegrown people. Like they are formulating many things at home and selling on Instagram or social media, you can say, without understanding what you have to say about them, because they don't understand this. Maybe they understand, but then sometimes things happen because the quality might differ from batch to batch.
Yes.
What do you have to say about them?
Okay, so yes, there are a lot of households and entrepreneurs, small entrepreneurs who are formulating or cooking up things at home. And again, it is not inherently bad because, through ages we have had Dadi Ma ke nuskhe. There are texts given in Indian literatures on, quick fixes to various skin problems using home ingredients. That's great. But if you want to take it professionally, if you want to scale up, you want to sell more units over a large geographical area, you need to have certain standardization processes. You have to see, if you're making something at home and consuming at home, the shelf life is not a question at all. You are just consuming it instantly. But for a product to be stable, sustainable, there needs to be a scientific approach behind that. So yes, Dadi Ma ke nuskhe are good, but they can be further stabilized using modern science techniques. And that is where the role of a formulator and skin calibration comes into play. So to scale up, you have to go to a professional setup. You have to have the necessary licenses. Yes. And then you scale up. Then no force in the world can stop you if your formulation is good and it benefits the skin.
Oh, that's true. And what about the curry oil? We would like to know. We listen a lot about curry oils. What do you have to say about the curry oil? Which one is good? Are those how to say, we have made them a star, or they are underrated, they are underdogs? What do you have to say about them?
Carrier oils are fantastic ingredients. They are called carrier oils because they carry powerhouses like essential oils into your skin. That's why they're called carrier oils. At the same time, apart from being a carrier, they give you emollients, they nourish the skin, they're full of antioxidants. And being here in India, we have a vast range of carrier oils on offer. There are underrated oils and there are overrated oils. Typically, we tend to perceive the oils which are coming from outside India as, the best oils possible, but that's not the case. Underrated oils, like I mentioned earlier, castor oil, sesame oil, coconut oil, they're fantastic oils in terms of emollients, nourishment, suitability for Indian skin. But again, having said that, one oil fits all does not work. You have to calibrate the oil as per the skin type and the formulation and the product type, because each oil may not be stable for a particular product.
And what about the butters you have to say? This I would like to know on my personal ground, because I see everybody using cocoa butter,
Yeah.
shea butter. But then I say there are butters in India. You introduce us to
Yeah.
many butters in
Yeah.
India. I remember Cell butter you talked about.
Sal butter.
Yeah, and that was, I think, Indian.
That's an Indian product.
Yes.
Yeah.
So-
The thing with butters is, as compared to carrier oils, the choice is limited. Natural butters are by far few.
Okay.
When we started our company, we started with shea butter,
Mhm.
which is a native African product. It does not grow anywhere in the world. It's a beautiful product. It's a fantastic product because it has got various properties, like apart from emollients and nourishment and antioxidants, it has got UV filters, inherent UV filters. It has got mosquito repellent properties, and the commercial farming of that butter is not possible because it's a wild fruit. If you plant a shea tree today, it starts giving nut after 25 years.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
25 years of waiting.
Yes, and the nut falls in a particular season on the ground, and that's when people collect it and they extract butter. So the supply of shea butter is going to be limited, always limited, and that's why shea butter price trend mimics cocoa butter trend. So having said that, that is one good product, but there are native Indian butters like mango butter, sal butter. There's a new butter called Chirua butter, which is the Himalayan butter.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. The problem is there is no commercial farming and availability of these butters. Again, it's a very seasonal thing. And there are companies like JICA, Japanese Investment Corporation, who have been gulping these butters directly from Himalayan farmers, leaving no butter for Indian market. So in the past, we have had supply issues with sal butter. We have had supply issues with churia butter. We have not been able to commercialize these butters to the extent shea butter has been commercialized in Africa. So I pray and hope that we reach that day where, Indian butters are in demand globally. We are successful to an extent with mango butter, but the other butters need some more visibility.
Because mangoes we are exporting, so still we have that
Yes.
kind of knowledge. And mangoes are Western people. So even I have seen in skincare that the Western ideologies are being dumped onto the Indian people. Indian people have zero understanding and knowledge when it comes to our own ingredients.
Yes.
We are being gifted
Yeah.
with the very good oils, with very good butters. But yes, the
Yeah.
problem is that we are being exploited. Like if I talk about Africa, I think shea butter works very well in India because we have the same temperature. We
Same
are
temperature zones.
hot zone. We
Yeah.
have the same problems. So it works well. That's wonderful knowledge sharing.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to buy it from you, how they can reach out to you?
We are always available online. And also we have our office in Sector 59 Noida and in Oklahoma, Delhi. So we have two manufacturing setups. We are manufacturing based on FDA rules or Ayush rules, depending on what our customers want. And the ingredients are also available. We have a repertoire of about 400 ingredients that we are importing, exporting, sourcing from farmers from various places. And certain products are being manufactured in-house.
Nice. And you have your own team of formulators and the people who are into
Yes.
skin industry.
Yes, very, very skilled team with people having worked at Shahnaz Hussain, VLCC, and 30 plus years of experience. And they've seen market cycles, they have seen trends, they have seen products come and fall. So, the experience speaks in the formulations.
That is true.
Yeah.
We'll take one thing. So we will ask about now social media ingredient education. Okay. No, this is what we will. Herbal extract and okay. We'll start with herbal extract.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
1, 2, 3, starting. So now we need to understand. We listen a lot about when you are talking about Ayush again and again. When we listen about Ayush or maybe clean green skincare, which is another trend, another word I will say for Ayurveda only. They have moved into a better positioning.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about herbal extract?
Okay.
Because we see people just position that this product has a herbal extract and it's more efficient. What do you have to say about that?
Okay. Herbal extracts inherently are good products.
Okay.
But to compare them with synthetic compounds is not really fair because each has its own advantages and disadvantages. Herbal extracts, they offer some potency and they offer nature into the product, but sometimes stability, integrity, and shelf life becomes an issue. right? On the other hand, synthetic molecules which are scientifically developed, they tend to be stable, they tend to be more potent, and they tend to have good integrity, product integrity. They work well with other molecules. So an ideal formulation should combine the best of both, because ultimately your skin will not go by branding. Your skin will go by what suits it, right? We see brands which just blow the word herbal, herbal, herbal all over, and then the product in terms of efficacy is very mediocre. On the other hand, there are brands which are very, very scientifically made, but they include synthetic molecules. They're more like a pharma product, and they do really well. So I'm not saying one product is bad, one product is good, but there has to be a balance between the two philosophies, and that is where we would love to work in that kind of a space, balancing the two, balancing nature and science. That's where the real formulation lies. Yeah.
Actually, I think the misconception started because people feel if it's chemically loaded, it will cause them some kind of damage.
Yeah.
But not all chemical are harmful. Some chemical can be easily washed out from your body. But maybe that misconception is there. What do you have to say about that?
So chemicals, we are eating more chemicals in our food as compared to what we are applying on the skin sometimes. I mean, look at the food we are getting, full of pesticides, heavy metals, and
the
kind
recent
of
use of milk,
paneer, the cheese
Yes.
which you are getting in the market. We do more thorough tests on skincare products as compared to what we do on food. We test our products for heavy metal residue, pesticide residue, microbiological. Some of these tests are not even done on food products. So chemicals inherently are not bad if they're used and taken in the right quantity and in the right manner. You have to look at the stability and its impact on the skin and the body. So like I said, the chemicals have to be calibrated into the skin, and so anything taken in excess becomes poison for the skin. So people these days talk about niacinamides and arbutin. You cannot incorporate them blindly in any formulation. So you take some herbal extract, take some niacinamide, so that they dance beautifully together in a formulation, and that's where the wonders happen.
Nice. But see, the problem is that, like you mentioned, that the Ayush is doing, like government is pushing it across. The problem comes when people listen Ayush, the fear of heavy metals in the bloodstream. And second is natural, organic might cause me a skin irritation or skin breakout.
Yeah.
So what's your opinion on these things?
So Ayush is a science based on our ancient Indian knowledge. And it is heartening to note that Ayush ministry, supported by the government, has been making efforts to increase awareness. And they are trying to adapt themselves to new technologies. Technologies like plant stem cell extracts, nanotechnology, they are now well accepted under Ayush.
Okay.
Because these are natural, the product remains natural, And as far as heavy metals are concerned, taken in the right quantity, it can act as a medicine. In ancient medical sciences, we have had metals like mercury, lead, zinc, which are superheated to about 6,000 degrees to create bhasmas, which were then used in formulations and applied on the skin for a therapeutic benefit. So the bhasmas were nothing but nanomolecules of a metal.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you superheat a metal to about 6,000 degrees, which is the temperature of the outer layer of the sun, the metal loses its inherent properties and it becomes a new molecule. And you have to look at the benefits at the skin for that particular compound.
So that again means we were being given wrong information about these heavy metals, because if done in a right manner, these will act as a, I can say, boon rather than a harmful element.
Yes,
right?
Yes. I mean, Ayush as such has certain restrictions because right now the ministry goes by what is given in the ancient texts. But with time, they are also expanding their mindset and they are accepting newer technologies. Any nature-derived product using modern scientific methods can lead to more efficacy as compared to what it used to be in the past. So we have to move ahead with times, and a natural molecule scientifically derived is good to go under Ayush. Even in FDA, if it's a chemical product, again derived synthetically from a natural source. Ultimately, all molecules come from a natural source.
Yes, they do that.
Or we synthesize something which mimics nature. So as long as it creates a positive impact on the skin, I think no one should have any problem with that.
That's good. Now, Pranshu, we have seen that you are into the market from last 10 years. You are being the supplier to all the global markets and well-known brands of D2C. What's commonly one thing you are seeing that people are doing wrong? Because even we understand people pay a lot of attention on the packaging, as you said. What's the major cause they are not putting their brain into actually developing a good product? What do you feel?
There are multiple reasons. First and foremost is the preconceived notions. And it's very difficult to challenge and remove the preconceived misconceptions on different ingredients. Founders come to us saying that I want a brand with this ingredient in all our formulations, which is unfair, for the formulation. Because as I said, one hero ingredient cannot work in all formulations. Next is obviously the budget, because a founder has to position the brand in the market for a particular audience. What kind of audience are they looking at? Are they looking at the premium segment, luxury segment, or they're looking at the masses? So that's where the budget comes into picture. And good ingredients, good quality ingredients do come at a premium, whatever said and done.
That I know.
They are expensive ingredients. So it entirely depends on the budget, on how do you want to position the product. And then we talk about the efficacy. I mean, when we talk to founders, for us, it's efficacy first, then the budget, and then your target audience. That's how it should work. But then when they come with preconceived notions on packaging, on the hero ingredient, they would want to spend a significant chunk on the packaging, but they would want to minimize their budget on the formulation.
Yeah, they do that actually.
Yeah.
But what about the competition? Don't you think it's too much of crowded market? Like it's a typical red ocean for skincare right now?
There's too much of competition. Each brand wants to do something different and wants to position differently. That positioning should happen at a molecular level. It should not happen at a packaging level, because packaging is superficial. You will buy the product once by looking at a fancy packaging, but the loyalty comes when your skin approves it. Yeah, so you have to position the brand at the molecular level. You have to focus on the efficacy up, and you have to have a smooth blend of marketing with the product. Founders who treat their formulation lab or as the core infrastructure, as a creative studio, will work silently over a period of time as compared to the jazz around the packaging and the hero ingredients. Have a mix of the two. Balance the two in a way that the market accepts and the skin accepts.
Both the ways.
Both the ways.
And what one thing you see that founder never accept, no matter what, because you are the actual manufacturer of a skincare, you are the people who are behind the formulation.
Yeah.
But what is the one common thing you have seen that people will never accept, no matter what?
Accepting long timelines is always a challenge.
Oh yes.
Yes. People come to us with fast timelines. How fast can I get a product in the market? How fast can you develop it for me? How fast can I get packaging? No, let's pause. Let's take a break and think about how can we make the product better and sustainable. Sometimes it is a disaster when we see a highly efficient cream being packed in a fancy transparent glass jar, which is prone to oxidation. That's not being fair to the product. And for founders, to be fair to the founders, it is a very emotional decision for them to accept a mistake, because there are sometimes, then you have brand recalls. If you do something in haste, there are brand recalls, there are negative reviews, and we share their pain with the founders. So it's very difficult to convince founders to have some patience and accept the timeline to ensure a product integrity and stability. But at the same time, the founders have to make the right claims on the product. We are formulating something and they are claiming something which the product does not do. is unfair. And that's where sometimes we have to put our foot down, that as manufacturers, we cannot allow that. I mean, founders are our customers, so it's a delicate situation for us as well.
Yeah, to handle. No, we have the similar situation. We recently got somebody, and the person was asking, take money, but make me a bigger brand within a year. I was like, no, it will take 6 years.
Yeah.
You need to understand 1 year only, we will be doing the testing.
Yeah.
We will understand how the market is doing, how your product is being recalled, everything about it, and then we will move forward. But yes, people don't have a timeline. Maybe that's because we have a snap of a finger, all kind of services happening.
Yeah.
People have that notion that it will happen. Now, if somebody who's listening to this and would like to launch their own skincare brand, what you think should be the step going forward?
Formulation. That's the prime criteria for any new startup brand. The packaging should complement the formulation, not the other way. The formulation should not complement the packaging.
Yes.
It's the differentiation, the brand positioning and differentiation is at a molecular level, not at a packaging level. Instagram reels, you can make fancy reels, but it has to be supported by the product. So take some time on the formulation. Stand back. Take your time. Packaging can happen, whenever you want.
Yeah, it can.
It's
happen
available.
Later. Yeah,
it's available in the market. So.
And what about the Instagram ingredient education, which is doing rounds? Because I listen a lot. What do you have to say? Like, what should be the right way of people actually getting into influencer marketing?
Influencers have created awareness. Influencing, if done responsibly, can be very good. If done irresponsibly, it can create chaos and insecurities in the minds of consumers.
Yes.
Yeah. And people find it very easy to sell when the consumer is insecure, because fear drives marketing at times. We have seen the cases of creams like Fair and Lovely and fairness products that we had in the past in the market. It's good that the government put its foot down and curbed that kind of marketing, fear-based marketing. But influencers also have this responsibility to create education about ingredients. Blindly saying niacinamide or arbutin or ceramides, it's not going to, it's not really awareness, because then the consumer comes to us and says that, I want this, I want a niacinamide cream, I want an arbutin cream. You have to see their molecular symphony with your skin. And then you have to formulate the products.
That's actually needed.
Yeah.
You know what's happening in Middle East? Their government, they have decided that if you don't have an education of certain domain, you cannot do the influence marketing.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
The way it should happen even in India, because I see so many DIY and they do any kind of DIY and they don't even understand, because they just picked up a content which is going viral. Because it's going viral, if they will create some content, even they will get more numbers as viewers. So they create the same content, but they don't understand it's an Indian skin, it's an Indian weather.
Yeah.
Then in India also we have a vast country. Somebody is sitting at the bottom of the country, somebody is on the top in hills somewhere.
Yeah.
You need to be responsible. So I wish we have this kind of understanding by the Indian government.
Yes, in fact, slightly adding to your point, now we have AI videos, AI generated content. So it's only yesterday that government came out with a regulation that all AI generated videos and content has to be labeled as AI generated. Otherwise, there is no, and the bad part is that even the AI models are not properly trained right now. So what they suggest may not be actually true.
Yes.
So it has, again, AI content has to be marketed responsibly by anyone who is on social media and, influencers.
Yeah, you cannot judge nowadays what is real and what is fake on social media. Everything looks the same.
Yeah.
And people can creating a content based on it. It's a little dangerous.
Yeah.
But what do you see as a trend coming in next 6 months? You think because people are now taking a step back from the skincare industry, or they are like, no, we have to enter this?
So what we are witnessing is people are valuing loyalty, brand loyalty. People definitely experiment with first time purchases, and they are aware. They can see which brand is suiting their skin and which brand is not. Once that happens, people are sticking to certain brands which suit their skin, and that loyalty is very valuable, because that is what makes a company grow, a brand grow. So that is going to be the trend going forward. A brand which is based on technology, on molecular research, is going to do well as compared to a good package, a well-packaged brand, a glamorous brand, a celebrity brand.
That reminds me, there are many celebrity brands are coming in. What's your personal opinion about them?
We should not name any celebrity brand, but the good thing about celebrity brands is they have some kind of a visibility because of a celebrity stature. But I personally haven't tried any celebrity brand, but I hope that they are well supported by formulations, and the companies which are manufacturing to them, they do it responsibly rather than fancy marketing. The good part is they have good budgets because they are celebrity brands.
Exactly, good budgets.
The budget should go at the right place, and I'm sure. I hope that they're going at the right place.
Yeah, there are many brand launch. I think last year 3 celebrity launches launched their brand.
Yeah.
3, last 2, I think 2-3 years, and only one of them is doing good. But then these people actually inflate their numbers also on paper.
Okay.
That's a common notion.
Okay.
So I don't know what's happening, but there's one brand I would like to mention. It's a K Beauty.
Okay.
And it's good.
Okay.
Because that's again what we realized. It's in the market from a very long time. And they are not pushing it much, but they are good.
Okay.
That base.
It's good that you mentioned K beauty here because we saw a trend where people were crazy about Korean skincare, Korean beauty. I've got a couple of Korean friends.
Okay.
They tell me plainly that look, a Korean skin is genetics. It has nothing to do with cosmetics.
True.
Yeah. They definitely have certain ingredients which are native to them, like snail mucin and sea-based products, which they incorporate in cosmetic products. But so do we. We also have certain native products which we should be incorporating in our cosmetic products. Blindly going after Korean products just because Korean skin is good, it's not fair to your own skin. Our genetics is different. We are beautiful in our own way.
Yes.
Yeah. Indian skin is beautiful. It's a very well balanced skin in terms of the pigmentation, the color tone. It's the best of both worlds, actually. Yeah.
I think maybe in India we are able to sell it off in this manner because in India we have a notion about the skin color and all. That's the reason it's a rage right now in India.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if I go out and all, we don't see a lot of rage. They have a different range for cosmetic.
Yeah.
Not for the skincare.
Yes, they have a range for makeup.
Yes.
Color cosmetics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go for brightening.
Yes.
That is one word, which is blindly used and abused to the extent across all brands. Brightening, organic, natural. These 3 words have been abused to the core.
Yes.
Across brands.
Okay, so what as a person, as an expert, you call a natural product? Like what are the formulation standard we would like to know from you, which come under the category of natural or maybe green and clean?
Green and clean.
Yeah.
Natural does not mean you take something from the nature, you take a leaf from the nature, you crush it and you just put it in the product.
Okay.
Yeah, because nature cannot be used directly into the skin because natural products have their own defense mechanisms. Plants have their own defense mechanisms. You take a product or take a leaf or take a stem, it would have certain acids, it would have certain allergens. So it has to be rightly calibrated for your skin. So I would not say nature, but nature derived ingredients, if used in a phased manner, in a calibrated manner on the skin, they can do wonders. Plant stem cell is a derivative of a natural product. Stem cells are basic building blocks at cellular level. When we have stem cell banks for human body, we have cryo banks which take blood from the placenta and they store those cells in blood banks. Those cells have the capability to grow into any tissue. That kind of technology is now being replicated with plant stem cells.
Okay.
And those stem cells, if incorporated in the skin, can actually regenerate the skin tissue.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So that is the kind of research in nature that companies are doing, and they are launching ingredients on those lines. Those ingredients can be incorporated and the product can be called 100% natural. Yeah. 100% natural has its own disadvantages also, because then sometimes shelf life becomes an issue.
Yes,
we have to use there is technically no product which can be called a preservative-free product. We see a lot of companies claiming preservative-free.
It cannot be.
It cannot be. You have to use, even a natural ingredient can act as a preservative, but it is a preservative. A natural vitamin E is an antioxidant and a preservative. So technically you cannot call a product preservative-free, else it will not last. Yeah.
And given the temperature variation we have to deal with, it's better to use a preservative.
Absolutely. We are in a hot country. We are in a humid environment, and we have seasonal variations, from extreme 45 degrees to 8 degrees, 5 degrees. So the product has to be robust, and it has to be able to withstand that kind of temperature conditions. We are not Europe, where there is a stable temperature throughout the year, oscillating between sub-zero to about 20-25 degrees maximum. Where, even the preservatives they use are milder.
They're pretty mild compared
very
to
mild.
us, yes.
So the same preservatives cannot be used in Indian conditions. So again, like I said earlier, it depends on where the product is going to be used. That defines the composition of your product. Yeah.
So you must have faced somebody coming from a different mindset and forcing you use our formulation. We know it better. People do that.
Happens all the time, and it's really painful. First, we discuss the formulation with our technical team, and many times, some formulations are good, but sometimes some formulations are so bad that they start laughing. They say, then the challenge comes with the marketing team, or how are they going to convince the consumer, the client, on not to use that particular formulation, else it's going to be disastrous. There has been cases where the client did not agree. They insisted that we use their formulation. So yes, we made a sample as per their formulation, and we requested them to just look at the product for about 20 days before pushing it out in the market. And as expected, the product separated. The product was not stable, and then they came back to us saying that can you make that stable? And then we had another discussion. So in that process, 20 days could have been avoided.
Yeah. I tell you why I'm telling you this. I met somebody, he's a client, and I asked them from where you got your formulation done for their skincare. And the answer was ChatGPT.
Wow.
Yes, and I was surprised. I was like, you didn't hire, you're not from a biosciences background. Yeah. You don't understand formulation. He said, no, I just have money. I went to ChatGPT. My team told me AI is good enough. I picked up the paid version, the higher version, and everything is from there. And I asked the supplier. The supplier was somewhere from Himachal side. And even the supplier didn't say that. And the person said, no. He said, it will be done.
Wow.
And I was like, how? You're claiming it to be green, clean. Maybe the supplier must have added, because see, again, the testing is a major concern we have. Every batch of a skincare or food item, as you said, have to be tested.
Yes.
People miss on that major part.
Yes.
So what, as a Itheon International founder, you have a notion that it has to be done? What you are doing at your end?
We have certain in-house tests before we even give a sample to the product, to the client, and every batch is tested in-house for consistency. We do appoint third-party labs for testing the product for microbiological and heavy metals, and there have been times when the ingredients that we had sourced at certain point were not up to the mark, and that had caused problems in the final formulation, so that batches have to be rejected. But we never pushed that kind of product to the client, because ultimately your skincare regime is also like a food for the skin, and the food has to be the best quality food that any human should try to have.
So, Pranshu, you mentioned that there are more abused words like brightening, natural. What do you have to say about eco-friendly?
Eco-friendly is good if used responsibly and sustainably. People say that we are all natural and we are eco-friendly. That's not really eco-friendly. It's just marketing jargon. Eco-friendly term comes mainly in packaging, wherein you avoid plastics to that extent and use nature-derived packaging material. We have certain companies which are doing really well in that respect. There's one company which manufactured a bottle made out of cardboard from the city only.
Okay.
They're doing well. There are companies which are doing bamboo bottles instead of plastic. So a brand has to take a conscious decision if they want to be really called eco-friendly. Apart from using nature-derived ingredients, you have to focus on eco-friendly packaging. Having said that, using a chemical ingredient does not make your product non-eco-friendly. When you synthesize a molecule, you're not damaging nature really. You're not cutting trees and synthesizing a molecule. But when you're making plastic or when you're doing something, which is, when you're using excessive paper in your packaging, then you're actually causing damage to the nature. Yeah.
But what happened if I'm keeping my cream in a container, maybe of a bamboo container? Won't the leaking will happen? I'm just asking because people must be curious to know.
Yeah. So let's say we pack essential oils in not bamboo, but we pack essential oils in aluminum bottles. Now, essential oils are volatile and they may react with aluminum.
Yes.
For that, the bottles are non-leaching aluminum bottles. They're coated with a fine chrome or a fine tin coating, so that the oils do not react with the bottle. So that kind of an arrangement has to be explored for a skincare product when it is going in an eco-friendly packaging. Bamboo as such is very inert. Bamboo does not react with formulations. Glass, if it is transparent, sunlight and humidity are the biggest enemies of any skincare product. So try to protect from sunlight and
okay.
moisture.
And what are the certain certification I as a consumer should consider and look for when I'm buying my skincare?
Okay, certification is like a degree for the brand, a graduation degree. It can help you push, but it does not tell you about the character of the brand or the character of the company.
Okay.
Yeah, certification can only take you to an extent. It's a good to have, but it's not mandatory. So I would say go through the certification process and maintain the protocols that you followed while getting that certification throughout your product life cycle, because companies tend to get the certification and then they forget all about it. You have an organic certificate, but then you start selling everything under that organic certificate. That's not the ethical way to go about it. So just like degrees can also be purchased now, you have to be cautious that certifications should not be the spurious ones which can be purchased easily.
So as a consumer, you're saying that I should not be only considerate about certification, I should look even for the ingredients?
Yes, don't get blinded by a certification, because certifications are now easy to get and most of the brands can claim all the certifications.
Yeah, if you have money.
Yeah, there are genuine brands who have excellent certifications and they're actually doing very well. But the sad part is the labels. Not everyone reads labels in detail. Labels are meant for compliance rather than consumer awareness, because if you look at the back of the label, you see Latin names of ingredients written in. For someone with a non-biology, non-science background, it's challenging. Who would read? He would just read the front part of the product, seeing the benefits and the core hero products, ingredients, and voila, let me buy it and use it.
Yes, all the Latin. Yeah. Why do you think these people do that? They don't want to tell. They don't want to let us know what we are buying.
So the brand, the formulation is very close to heart of any company. It's a closely guarded secret. And to be fair, it should be an intellectual property of the company or the founder. But at the same time, there are government regulations that compels you to disclose all the ingredients, or if not all, the key ingredients and the ingredients which may cause allergy, the allergens on the label. That is the FDA norm. Ayush has even stricter norms. Ayush wants you to tell all the actives with percentage on the label.
Oh, even with the percentage?
With the percentage. Ayush norms are actually stricter than FDA norms. So here comes the question of being ethical, because what we do not allow our clients is to over-report. Let's say if you're using a salicylic acid or a niacinamide or arbutin, don't claim that you're using 20% salicylic acid. It's not feasible. It's not possible. You claim what you're actually adding. It's Better to under-report rather than over-report and make false claims on the products.
True. So that's a good one. But Pranshu, our concern is there are brands which, as you said, are good.
Okay.
They have done a good market research, their product are good, but then it gets little tough to sustain in the market because of the costing.
Yes. Yes.
Costing to look good, feel good, get the photo shoot done rightly, have the certification, because your consumers are actually little driven by Western culture a lot.
Yeah.
So they look for it. What's your advice for those kind of brand which have a good product, how they can take the pressure of cost?
Okay. So, like we say in Hindi, जो दिखता है वो बिकता है. तो दिखना जरूरी है brand को. You have to have certain kind of a visibility. Even if your product is good and it is highly priced, you'll be surprised to know that Indian consumers in general have a good purchasing power. And what we are witnessing is the price sensitivity is more prevalent now in the West as compared to India. Indian consumers are willing to shell out a premium for a good product. And that is why, you must be aware that the brand called Lush re-entered into India now. It was here 15 years back. It was a wrong time because people were not willing to spend that much on a soap. They were not willing to spend 400 rupees on a soap. But now they are. So people value good product, good brand. And if they suit their skin, if they see the results, they will go and buy the most expensive possible product. And that is the reason behind success of really good brands like Forest Essentials, Kama Ayurveda. Their products are obscenely priced, but then their efficacy is good.
Very nice.
My personal experience, their products are good, genuinely good.
They're very nice. If I talk about Forest Essential, their cream, 8,000, 9,000, 12,000.
Yeah.
But those are very nice.
Very, very nice. And they spend a significant chunk of time in researching and developing the product. They're very particular about which ingredients they source and from where they are sourced. They are very particular about sustainability, traceability. And that reflects in the product quality.
Yeah, and even the after sales, after applying those products, when you leave them on your skin, how the smell is happening.
Yeah.
Because that's another concern I have. In India, it's a hot temperature, the smell stays, you want that smell to be good.
Yes.
And that after smell is good. That means that they have done a good work when it comes to their research.
Yes. If you look at their aroma profiles, the kind of oils they use, they're all native Indian oils, saffron, aloe vera, whatever India has to offer in terms of ingredient, they've incorporated in their product.
Yes.
And the validation comes from the fact that they have been acquired by Estee Lauder, which is a European brand. And that's India's major export of Ayush to the world, through Forest Essentials being acquired by Estee Lauder.
That's true. And now, even when you see their packaging, they clearly mention clinically tested.
Yes.
They always do. And I've not seen a lot of influencer talking about it as a brand. When it started also, where it is right now, not many influencers talk about it so openly.
Because they don't need influencer marketing now. They have reached that stage.
Yes.
You don't really need influencer marketing. You have created a perception in the mind that they are good and they're genuinely good.
And then they are claiming clearly that we are clinically tested. We know what we are doing. Yeah. Everything is being mentioned there. That's the added advantage they have.
Yeah.
Which other brand you think other than Forest Essential is like being there in this category?
Okay, so we are not here. We are not marketing for any brand, but I would name a few. Forest Essentials, Kama Ayurveda. There's a brand called Indagio. They are very particular about the ingredients they use, and Juicy Chemistry is good to an extent. In fact, their USP was they were the first EcoCert Cosmos certified brand in India. So they have been through rigorous processes, and then there are a lot of smaller brands on Amazon. It's just that one has to read the label carefully. They might not be able to spend on the marketing, but I would request people to just go beyond the top 3 pages of Amazon search and see there are, small treasures in the back pages, page number 5, 6, 7, the brands which are not able to spend so much to be listed on the front pages of Amazon, but the products are genuinely good.
If we have to talk about clinical testing, and is it a fear-based thing people are pushing, or it's like influencer people are approving it? What do you have to say about that?
So, influencers, they definitely drive awareness. But clinical testing drives credibility. So both have to work in sync, awareness and credibility. Um, Recently, government issued a rule for sunscreens because sunscreens were often missold in the market. People were claiming obscene SPFs without actually having that kind of an SPF. So the government now, starting January, they have made in vivo testing mandatory to be called a particular SPF product. Each in vivo test has to be validated by a government approved lab before you can claim an SPF value of 30, 40, 50 or 70 in your product, which is a welcome step. So these kind of clinical tests are more needed for more products now.
Okay.
Yeah. That is when the product becomes genuinely credible. And the brands which have actually spent time and effort over time, over years, developing a sustainable product will have no issues passing that in vivo test. But the brands which are mainly focused on branding and influencer marketing will have a tough time.
That's true, but this is a good step because I understand we from a very hot country, people claim anything they have to claim, but people claim then the other thing also, like it will help you in curing your acne,
Yeah.
the breakouts, the wrinkles. What do you have to say about that?
As long as there are right actives in the product, it will help you out. But again, skin is your best judge. So if someone is claiming anti-acne or anti-wrinkle, use it for some time and see for yourself, right? But when you use it, don't expect immediate results. Use it for 3 weeks and then make a decision.
But
Yeah.
you feel genuinely brands are what they're claiming actually, because see, for example, in acne, the doctor says what you eat shows on your face,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So how are skincare, to what extent is actually impacting your skin?
Skincare is mainly treating the symptom, not the problem.
Okay.
And for most of the brands, the problem comes from it can come from the gut, from inside your body, or it can come from deeper layers of the skin. Uh, for a good skin, definitely you have to eat right. There is no question about that. That's in fact the first step. I would put it above skincare, using skincare formulation. You have to eat right, you have to eat well. Then comes the skincare. First, in this case, if you are eating right and if you are eating well, your skin problem will not come. Any skin problem. There are certain problems which are genetic, which come with age. It's very difficult to reverse that, to be fair. Skincare products will help you in premature skin problems like premature aging or premature fine lines. Acne problem among teenagers is due to hormonal balance. You can only suppress it to an extent, but it's the hormones.
It's a natural way.
It's a natural way. You have to purify your blood by taking in blood purifiers, foods that purify your blood, and the problem will be gone. So cosmetic formulations, if they are treating a symptom which is premature, they will work very well. But for aging, you can only slow the process down. But aging is a natural process, and it's good to age gracefully.
You have to accept it.
Accept it and age gracefully. People look beautiful with age as well.
Yeah, they do. So, what are the 5 major ingredients which people are overlooking right now, but those gonna be a rage by the next 6-7 months in India? If I have to name 5.
In India, okay. My personal favorite ingredient is castor oil. We don't value it much as Indians, but we have international clients who are crazy about castor oil. They just importing the castor oil in small quantities to the respective countries makes the cost of the product about 10 times of what we have in India. But they are willing to shell out and use that because they say that it's a miracle product for their skin. Yeah.
Great.
Then there are molecules which are doing rage these days. Ceramides are good. Copper peptide is doing very well. It's a very expensive ingredient, and it is being used in high-end serums.
Okay.
Yeah. Niacinamide is a very versatile product. It has multiple benefits. Apart from skin brightening, it is also anti-acne, and it causes a glow. It reduces fine lines and wrinkles. So niacinamide can be incorporated in most of the products, not all, and it works very well with other ingredients. My final favorite would be salicylic acid.
Okay.
Yeah, it's naturally available in willow bark. So either you use willow bark extract if you want to have a nature-derived product, or you use salicylic acid directly. It goes into your pore and cleanses up your skin. Apart from being anti-acne, it is a fantastic skin brightening agent. It causes that kind of a glow and makes your skin tone smoothen out and evens out your skin. Fantastic and underrated ingredient, and cheap also. It's not expensive.
So that's insightful information because I agree we don't understand what we have in Indian basket for us and which is actually good for our pocket. But won't you think when people use and formulate the product and you talk about clinical testing, why people don't go for skin testing? Like why people only go for lab testing, not a skin testing?
Because it takes time and money. And in the age of 10 minutes delivery, people are impatient.
Yes.
uh, Everyone wants to not miss the bus, because of FOMO. They want to just launch their brand and, catch this trend, this bus of.
Yeah, they want to ride on the trend, I think.
Ride on the trend and, just make money out of it. Clinical tests take time, at least 2 to 3 months. You have preservative efficacy test, which takes about 6 months, where they check the growth of biological matter in the formulation over a period of time and see how effective is the preservative and how stable is the product. These tests are expensive and they take time. So that is again one of the biggest challenges of founders, to get product stability before the product is launched, and that needs some patience.
Yeah, that's missing element from
That's
all the
something.
fund.
Yeah, but as a formulating company, we have had certain formulations that we know are stable, and those kind of combinations or formulations, we inherently know that they will be stable. So if someone is in a hurry to enter the market, certain formulations are readily available with us. But if it is something which the founder insists that I have to use their formulation, then we need to give it some time and patience.
That is true. And what about the blind spot you have to see? Because you are a supplier, you're sitting back and you understand what are the blind spot of this industry, which these are the major blind spot which nobody is eyeing on them.
Okay, I would say there are two blind spots. One is your ingredient, because in your formulation, your weakest link is your ingredient, which is not traceable or which has traceability issues, where you cannot pinpoint whether it is coming from a good source or a bad source. So as a company where we have both ingredients and we also do formulations, we are very particular about our sourcing of ingredients which we use in our formulation. If we have clients coming to us saying that we'll give you our own ingredients because they are available for cheap. So in that case, we say okay, but we will not take any responsibility for the product going bad within a stipulated time. So that is one. Second is your product stability, because when you formulate a product, you have to observe it over a period of time. There can be color changes, there can be separation in the product, there can be microbial growth. Sometimes the preservatives do not act as they are expected to. So all these things take time, and it's better if we can identify these problems before the product hits the market. Otherwise, recalling the product and getting negative reviews is a very messy affair, and it can destroy brands. So it's better to invest your time here rather than investing money on packaging and launching it fast.
Rather than do a better research and then launch a product. That's really needed. And I hope people who are listening to it, they understand and realize what mistake they are doing. Yeah. But would you like to share any personal experience where you have seen that people started their journey, put in a lot of money, but then they were out of the market? Would you like to share? You cannot name it, it's okay, but at least a story to share with all of us.
Well, we have had customers who were very high on budget, and they gave us huge order, which was very it was not normal for a new startup brand. They wanted to do it big from day one. We created some formulations for them. Again, it depends on the budget as well. So we developed the formulation within their budget. But then they launched the product. They got first sales. But again, like we discussed earlier, repeat sales was a problem. They did not consider repeat sales in their metrics. They claimed something. The product did not perform well as per their expectation because they were in a hurry to launch the brand in a big way, and they have become slowed down now. So these are very practical challenges which the founders have to be aware of, and they should exercise utmost caution. It's better to start with 100 bottles rather than 10,000 bottles of a product, but do it, increase the quantity over time when your brand starts selling and becomes self-sustaining.
So you have again and again mentioned repetitive orders.
Yeah.
What's your advice for this thing, that if somebody is listening, how and what to do to make sure that they get repetitive orders?
Okay, as a business ourselves, we have been very lucky that 60 to 70% of our sales are from repeat customers.
Yes.
And that is very sustainable because we have customers which have stuck with us for over 10 years now. Since the time we started, we have same customers hanging out with us. And we feel very grateful and a sense of pride for having done so. And that is what we hope that new brands are able to achieve. We have brands in the market which have had a very loyal customer base, and eventually they are acquired by the big fish, because it attracts big fish. A new startup brand which comes up suddenly will not be an easy attraction for a bigger brand to take over, because some of the founders enter the market with the intention of selling away their brand after a period of 4 to 5 years. But for that, you have to show your metrics of consistent sales, and you have to segregate your sales between repeat business and first-time users. As an investor, if I see a brand with first-time users coming in over a period of 5 years, if my 80% of sales is coming from first-time user, that means you're spending big on marketing and you're attracting consumers with your packaging or your marketing effort. But if your repeat sales is low, then I would be very cautious about investing in that brand.
That's true. And now when it comes to skincare, we have many companies who are launching skincare for kids or teenager.
Yeah.
Is it a myth, you think, that the kids and the teenager need that kind of skincare?
Like we discussed earlier, we had Dadi Ma ke nuskhe in the households. So skincare for teenagers has been happening in the households, but in an unorganized manner. There are brands which have come in the market which have made it organized. We know certain brands which have taken utmost caution to have a formulation which does not affect any hormonal, which does not have any hormonal impact on teenagers. That is a major thing to be looked at. As long as that is sorted, skin of all age groups need some care. The requirements of teenagers are different from requirements of grown-ups. They have their own issues like dandruff, acne, breakouts. So, formulations that can work on those problems, and as long as they are sustainable, they will do well. For grown-ups, like 40 plus years old, the problems are different. There are wrinkles, fine lines and all. So, as long as the brands, they treat that symptom. So, again, skincare brands have to also work for teenagers by a balance through a balanced mix of diet as well as the topical application. Both have to go together.
And then it's more effective.
Then it's more effective.
Great. Now we would like to know what one advice you have to say to the people who would like to launch their business or are into their skincare business. One advice that the founders should pay attention to at this moment, when we know the AI is there.
Yeah.
Everything is very smooth. Anybody can launch. It will be getting more competitive. What one advice you have to say to these people?
Okay. It's good to be different. It's good to differentiate yourself, but do so at the molecular level, not at the packaging level or at a visual level. Because if you differentiate yourself at the molecular level, there are two advantages. First, you have your intellectual IP with you. No, it's very difficult to copy. People can copy packaging. People can create fakes out of your product, but no one can copy the efficacy through your intellectual property. So always invest in intellectual property, no matter how long it takes. You have to have one thing that only you should have. Hero ingredient can be copied. A formulation can be copied, but not the secrets that you put in, the secret recipe.
Yes.
Which it cannot be copied. So have a secret recipe.
That's very important. And that will take time. I think it's going to take time for the product research and all. In journal, how much you have seen that people take time?
starting from 1 month, 30 days to about 5 months. In fact, you will not believe we have had customers who got samples from us last year in Feb 2025. And now they're coming back to us saying that, look, we tested your samples and we took our time. We tested over a wide group, over wide climatic conditions, wide weather conditions, and they work. So now we are ready to, launch the brand. It is these kind of founders and clients which we love to work with. And we know,
cherish them.
Yeah, we cherish them. I mean, these are treasures, these people are rare to find. And these are the brands which will sustain and they will grow quietly over a period of time. They may not need any external funding. They'll just grow on their own.
Yeah. Slowly, but they're gonna grow.
Yes.
That's good. What is your, I will say, prediction, your personal prediction, seeing the market trend, what will happen into the next 5 years in the D2C skincare brands?
It's going to be driven by science. Instagram, influencers and all eventually will peak, and it's going to go down because the consumer will be more aware of what is real, what is fake. Even same goes with AI. Eventually, people will know what which AI is fake, which AI is telling you genuine stuff. It is ultimately science and the clinical trials, proven clinical trials, genuine, honest user feedback, which will drive the growth of the brand. There will be some churn in the market. New brands will come in. I mean, now you're witnessing that the pace of new brands coming into the market has slowed down, and many existing brands will just finish off. The brands which have been working quietly will continue to grow
in the market. That's good one, Pranshu. Thank you so much. We actually cleared a lot of myth around the skincare industry because we all feel like launching one for ourselves, but then we all having our own caution and understanding, and yes, a kind of fear seeing the celebrity pushing their brand because that's a tough competition with the marketing. But you are right, if a product is good as a product, not as a prop, it's gonna grow in the market eventually.
Yes. Just be patient and use the product for about 3 weeks and then take a call. Don't expect instant results. That's my advice.
Great.
And thank you so much. It's a pleasure to interact with you and share our thoughts about skincare.
Thank you so much for joining us. It was really nice. Thank you everybody who is listening to this.
My pleasure.
And again, we will be coming here, but this episode is for all those people who are planning to launch their own skincare or are interested in skincare. You need to understand the efficacy, the potency, what and which ingredient, and don't get just misguided by what you see on internet so easily. You need to do your own research. We'll see you again. Thank you. Bye. Take care.